Hey YouTube, and thanks for watching Junkworks Garage. So we're working on the 2011 Razor 800 today. I'm doing all kinds of things on this rig, so go check out my Polaris Razor 800 playlist. It'll probably just be Razor playlist, but I haven't made it yet, so we'll see. Anyway, and we're going underneath here for now, so that I can actually take the skid plate off. And I thought about just doing this real quick, so I'm sure it's not that difficult, but I figured I should film it just in case. Now, I know I have my lift, which makes life nice, but you can do it with a jack and some jack stands with no problem. One of the biggest reasons why I'm doing this is, if you can see up in here, there's a big stick, which I don't want there anymore, and I tried kind of pulling it out. I'm sure I could, but I want to take a look underneath here and see like how much this protects or doesn't protect the machine. So there appears to be 14 of them, and they are 3/8 on my machine. Yet again, I have found my machine has been a lot of standard measurements for things. I'm using actually an Allen key to dig these out. It doesn't appear to have a size, so find one that actually fits up in this groove, and this is perfect. Well, except for when they're bent up like this one. You can buy these on Amazon pretty cheap, and I thought about grabbing some, but I decided before I spend any more money on this thing, I'm going to see what I can and cannot reuse, because I'm spending way too much, and all these things do is get beat up anyway. And really, there was only a couple clogged ones. So let's start getting these off. I'm going to leave all the ones in the center for now, and just take all the ones off around the around the edges. And I'm going to leave this one kind of more centered here for now. And actually, there's one of these is falling out. My SD card filled up, and what I was saying, I popped one of these out and I was going to leave them in. Now that I see one fell out, or was just hanging there, hopefully they won't all fall out as I undo this last one here. And putting that up. It's not that heavy, in my personal opinion. Alright, now this is where all the crap's going to come down on me here. Okay, I got one more somewhere. Ah, yep, I do. Got one more over here. I didn't notice. All the way on the sides here, there's two more over on this side. Because this side, for some reason, has a section that comes out more. So make sure you get these. You'll be like me and regretting not doing it. This one's been like duct taped over here. Alright. Now I think that'll just kind of go back like that. Alright, there's my stick. I am going to go ahead and take these pieces out of that and put them somewhere safe, because I had a couple more fall out. So we're underneath, starting in the front. Everything in the front looks pretty good for the most part. Little bit of minor rust. Definitely some crap I need to get rid of there. I will say these are rustier than I would have hoped, so I may shoot a little bit of paint on those. These two are fairly rusty, and then the one in the back, not so bad. But I think there's a reason for that, which I will go over here in a minute. This is where, wiring goes through there. The hoses for the radiator goes through here. Fairly simple to get to and work on if need be, along with the axle that goes right down the middle. Wiring and things like that. I don't know if I like that that is sitting there right on the bottom of the battery. I may want to protect this a little bit better, and I have no idea what this is, but it looks homemade. If that was done at a factory, then you should be ashamed, because that's just weird, and there's definitely some rust that's just taped on. I have no idea what that is. Anybody can tell me what that is, I would appreciate it. Looks like some sort of, I don't know, breaker relay type thing. Looks like something that maybe was in something that would be in your RV, but I really don't know. I'll have to do some research on that. But yet again, if somebody knows what it is. Then we got our solenoid up there, all looks pretty good. Here is the, I believe, yep, this is the brake switch right here. This is what a lot of people talk about, this getting dirt and grime and stuff in there, including the guy I bought this from. He said every now and then he needs to kind of wiggle this around and clean it up. Otherwise it won't start. So if your rig's not starting, that is a good place to kind of start, so to speak, and find out what's going on. This side over here looks pretty good. I don't see a lot of leakage and things like that. Now we go over here. We got some rocks we need to clean out from the inside of this, which I'll do later. That one looks kind of rusty as well. I believe this is so you could put a second box in, or a second battery in. I'm not really sure. That's my plan later on in the future probably, but it's just kind of an open space. This is where your actual battery is right here. This also looks rusty right here. There are only 2 on this side of those and 3 over here. I don't know why, but they decided not to put one right there. Now over here, this is where it kind of gets bad. I'm thinking yet again, whoever did the oil last probably overdid this, I'm hoping, because there's quite a bit of oil and crud and stuff here, which is probably why some of the oil's gone on here and it hasn't rusted out like the rest of them. But anyhow, so we're going to be doing that. We're doing all the fluids in this rig, so go check out those videos. While I'm under here, I'm going to check this, which it seems a little bit sloppy. I don't know how sloppy these are supposed to be. I do know there's a grease zert on here, or zerk. I never know if there's zert or zerk. Go ahead and comment below. But anyway, right here, that I can get from the top, or put it in neutral and probably spin this so I can probably get it from down here, which is what I may end up doing in the end. But then you go back to the back. I've already done the fluids back there, so doesn't look like it's leaking any, and we're good to go as far as that's concerned. For the most part, everything looks pretty good. I don't see any major damage anywhere. That's, you know, pretty scraped up there, and maybe a couple little dings and dents that shouldn't be there. But I'm not seeing where it's taken a hard blow or rolled over or been really smashed about. It looks really good underneath here. That is definitely questionable though right there, so we'll have to find out more about that yet again later. And if you're wondering what these 2x4s are for, it's just so my tires don't wobble down here, or in case this, you know, was to move a little bit, it'll end up on here rather than going through the middle here, because my lift is a little bit wide for this, but it works. Alright, now it's time to see how hard it is to put this thing back on. I went ahead and painted, you know, underneath here where it was scratched, and painted these things where they were kind of rusty, so they look a little bit nicer. Maybe that'll kind of keep them for a little bit longer from going away on me. They weren't super rusty, they were just mostly surface rust. And then I painted a few other scratched up parts and pieces, and looks a little bit nicer under here. Now it's time to start putting this thing on, and we'll see how difficult it is. I used some super clean and cleaned this off, hosed it off. Then I actually had to take a scraper and get some of the rest of it off. but for the most part it's pretty clean. So if I have another leak, I should know it. There's definitely a difference between, you know, where the oil and stuff had been leaking to where it hasn't been. So hopefully that gives me a pretty good idea next time if I'm still leaking. As you can see, I have this thing on my jack now here, somewhat. But I'm going to have to move it forward. Hopefully I don't smack you. I'm going to put it on this for now too. And I'm going to jack this thing up to where it's within a couple inches. Now you could use a floor jack for this exact same thing, or transmission jack might actually work better. And that should make it so I don't have to hold it up. And I can start looking for holes. Now the other thing, I don't know if it ended up on this video, I wound up knocking all these clips out that go up in here. But that actually is a good thing in some ways. If you put the screw in there and you can get this lined up somewhere where the hole is, then those don't have to be perfectly lined up to find the hole and put it up in there. I'm just going to get that in there kind of by hand. I'm just going to snug it up a little bit, just put it in there enough to where I know it's not going to fall. And I'm going to do that all the way down the middle here. And I've decided to go skip one up there in the front, and I'm going to go this one in the back here and try and get it lined up by hand here. There we go. And we'll just kind of bring it up, and I'm not tightening these up, I'm just getting a couple threads on them. Whoop, I went the wrong way. And then just kind of hook them up in there till they hold a little bit. Now I can kind of maneuver this around without the jack under it. Get it there. In there, so we'll have to see. Let's go. Factory, they make the line perfect. I'm getting them all in very easy. I would definitely say if you're going to do fluids in your rig, take this thing off to do the fluids. I will show you why a little bit later. I think that is all of them. Appears to be. So I'm going to go ahead and run them down right down the middle first. Now if you don't got a good feel for this, then you should use it by hand, but I'm pretty comfortable with this. I got them all in, got them all locked down. That was fairly easy. Admittedly, I have a lift. It's going to make life easier, but I really think with a transmission jack or a regular jack and a board maybe, lifting this up, putting what you can in by hand. Definitely take these little bungs out or grommet things out. That way you can find the hole, and then when you put them up in there, they'll fall in. Fairly simple. And as you can see, the only thing on my floor is those few drops right there. That is it. That is all I got on my floor, and I changed every single fluid in this thing. I did the rear end, the front end, the transfer case, the transmission, and the oil. Every single thing, and that is it right there. That is the amount of fluid that wound up on my floor. Well, hopefully you enjoyed it and got something out of it. Now get out there and get your junk working. Thanks for watching Junk Works Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all and master of none. You all have a good one.